And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, maybe some more coffee. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to FPL Don't Panic. This is my third attempt doing this video. I was going to do like this very quick one this morning, just a quick wash up on the game week so far and the bus team 421. A few minutes ago I actually put up a video, and I just went to the shop around the corner. I was just listening to the playback to make sure it had come through. Just needed to grab some coffee, and I realised it hadn't uploaded properly. It actually bumped off a big chunk out of it. However, by the time I actually got back to the house, there was one question. A couple of people had actually watched it, and there was one question in there. I thought, you know what, actually I'm going to redo the video, but I'm going to reframe it a little bit. And the one question I got was, is Declan Rice a must-own? Now, a few of you will know I'm feeling a bit of Declan Rice pain this morning. I'll talk to that more in a minute. You know, was it a mistake? Well, clearly I didn't get the right result. But I said we'll talk a little bit that in a minute. But just on that question alone, yes, he absolutely is. And it does leave me with a little dilemma, which again I'll talk to shortly. But he's absolutely a must-own at that price. The consistency he's shown all season. I spoke about Declan Rice, was actually in the second half of last season, when he was actually starting to put up some nice little consistent numbers and getting the odd attacking return. And I do remember the video clearly, and I said, you know, would I be mad to bring in Declan Rice? No one has him, but he just keeps clocking up these 4 or 5 pointers and getting the odd attacking contribution. And I thought, geez, if he had someone bloody supporting him in midfield there where he could get forward more, he would be banging in lots of goals and it'd be one of the best assets in FPL. Well, between the DEFCON and between Zubimendi coming in, that performance this morning from him, which I'm absolutely gutted about, we'll talk more to that in a minute, was everything that I had foreseen for Declan Rice. You know, hitting the box from the Saka cutbacks. I don't know if he did get his DEFCON this morning. I know he was very close to it. I hope he didn't, because that's just more pain to my misery. But yeah, Declan Rice, that's a simple answer to that. Declan Rice is a must-own. He's the most consistent midfielder, because he's more consistent than Bruno, because Bruno can be a little bit hit and miss and frustrating. Declan Rice is not frustrating. He's going to get you that. You can almost write that 5 points in on a weekly basis, and then you're going to get a game week like this where he just then gets the two goals. But he'll pick you up other assists, obviously, from his corners regularly. He's going to finish on a ridiculous amount of points if he can steer clear of injury. Now, talking about injury, so we do a little game week review. Oh my God, this game is sent to test me. Now, as much as it's tested me this morning, or last night I should say, and I'm a bit croaky, and we'll talk to that in a minute as well. Yeah, this game is meant to test me, isn't it? I hate Arteta. I hate Arteta with a passion. So did the wild card, for better or for worse, and at the moment it's a little bit of both, but there's a long way to go in this game week, and I'm sitting on a healthy 150k green, which I'm happy with, and that was the objective, because I knew I was going to take the -8, and then the one that pushed me over the edge, you know, fuck it, I'm just going to do the wild card. I want to see some greens in a row. I want to get to this 4-5-1 properly, and all that. You've heard it all before. I'm not going to go through it all again. All the reasoning behind it, whether I justified it or not, it was my reasoning. But the one that pushed me over the edge to go wild card and make other adjustments in the team, so it wasn't just the -12, then it would have been, there's a couple of other little transfers here and there, was the presser, where I didn't think it sounded that promising that Declan Rice would start. And I thought, you know what, looked at some of the options, thought, oh, Bruno G, I could have Bruno G in a couple of games, and I'll bring Rice back after Liverpool. And because Bruno G's got a couple of nice fixtures, and as I said yesterday, and hey, who knows, Bruno G might bag a couple of goals. You know, if he outscores Rice over the next couple of games, absolutely fantastic. But it's starting on the back foot, isn't it? But it was the one that pushed me over the edge, was that presser, where I didn't think it sounded that promising that it'd start. And because I have opted, and there's another story there, to play with the thin bench and really have the money, because I need every dollar when I want to bring Bruno back. yeah, that was the one that pushed me over the edge. And if I had, so what it was last night, so it was sorry, I'm jumping around stories here because they're all connected. So I had my team. I was actually happy with my team. I was happy with my wildcard. I didn't think I was going to make any adjustments. There was a few really good suggestions came in, which I actually did actually take on board when I was doing the wildcard, and on the video I did. And then there's certainly a couple that I'm going to be doing further down the track. I think it's just, oh, I like that, but I don't want that now. But that's a really good pathway to where I want to get Bruno back in a few weeks' time. We'll talk about that in a future plans video. But it was this Rice one, and I got a call at about 3 o'clock, and it's from a mate, Ross. So I'll come over and have dinner with us. I thought, oh, you know what? My team's set up. I had plans for to watch the deadline streams, and then watch the games, and I was actually happy. And I thought, you know what? Actually, I've been so with these deadlines coming thick and fast. You know what? Let's forget about football. My team's set up. I'll go over and with Ross and Hillary, and we'll have a nice glass of wine and a nice spag bowl, and we'll put the phone away and we'll just let the football take care of itself. Well, that was a mistake, because I really do believe I put the phone away. I thought, not with friends now, I'm not going to be looking at this, staring at this thing and checking it all the time, checking deadline streams. And went to bed, stayed over at their place. Went to bed after midnight, deadline had passed. I thought I'll just listen to the last 10 minutes. I think it might have been FPL Harry or someone. And heard Rice had been out for the walk with the team. I was on the bus. And I knew then he was going to get at least a goal. I just knew it, because this is what this fucking game does to me. Now, I'm smiling because I think it's fucking funny. And as I say, the game is far from over. I'm on a healthy green, which was the objective, to start to strike up couple of greens in a row, more than a couple. I don't want to get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. That's the objective with this wildcard. Whether I achieve it or not, we don't know. We're on the beginning of that path. But good green last week, wildcard this week, good start, and hopefully it's onwards and upwards, and try and get this ship back on track. But that Declan Rice haul, because I said what I want to be in the next 4 or 5 game weeks is get myself back inside that top 500k by game week 25, would have already had me close to it. And that's the gutting thing. But I'm still not having a meltdown. I just think it's quite funny the way this game just does this to you. Go and have, if you're having a bad game week. So on the way, so I got a few hours sleep over at my friends, and on the drive back I thought, oh Arsenal's kicking off, I'll listen to, must be someone will be doing a live watch along. And I found, I've never really listened to him before. I've seen him once or twice when he was obviously in a calmer mood. FPL Ryan, if you want to feel better about any of your game weeks, if it's not going well, or you just want to laugh, just listen to the first 10 minutes of FPL Ryan's live watch along with his triple Arsenal defence. And he's an Arsenal fan, and no Gabriel, but triple Arsenal defence. This is the meltdown of meltdowns. After that I thought, doesn't matter what happens this game, I'm not going to feel as bad as that. But then like 10 minutes later, when Gabriel scores, he went to another level. Have a look. Anyway, I can't help but laugh. This game is designed to drive you absolutely insane. So Gabriel, just on the team review, yep, Gabriel was one of my transfers in on the wild card. Yeah, fantastic. Knocked out the double Arsenal defence, or in some case triple Arsenal defence, and then goes up the other end of the pitch and gets a goal. Fantastic. This is what I need from you, Gabriel. This is what we brought you in for. Verbruggen, yeah, one thing I've done very, very well this year are my goalkeeper rotations across the whole season. I started with Verbruggen Petrovic for the first 10. That went really, really well for me. Then we had a few where it wasn't going so well, so we changed that around to Verbruggen Dubravka. That's gone really well for me. I've got 2 11-pointers out of that. Just with this wild card to free up some money, I've moved out Dubravka and we brought in John. And obviously it's Verbruggen still in for this one, coming in with a clean sheet. Loving my goalkeeper. Seriously, I'm beating your Ryers and your Pickfords just hands down across the season. It's the one thing I have done very, very well. Now on to the stuff that I haven't done so well. Gabriel's fine. Listen, most of that defence, apart from Chow, came in on the wild card. I love that defence. We'll see how that goes. But obviously, Gabriel's got the point. Midfield is where I'm going to ask your opinion on something, because sometimes your opinions proves to be far better than my own actions. Obviously, Arteta bench Saka. I was glad Saka came on in the end, because my bench is light. So Saka did come on and got the assist. Even if he'd only just come on and got the the 1 pointer or something like that, I thought I'd just bring him on, give him, because it's not going to surprise me if someone else gets rotated in this team. My bet, if there was going to be a rotation, if I was going to lose someone else, it probably could be Foden, I suspect. But this, who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, Saka came in, 4 points, grand, fine, good. So anyway, one bit of cover on the bench is good. So it's 3 returns out of 3. You'd take that, wouldn't you? You'd take that. But if Rice had been on there, that would have been 4 out of 4. And what I would have done, in all honesty, I would have brought Rice back in if I had heard the deadline stream and heard that he'd been on the bus. And I would have brought him in for, I believe, Cunha. That was my first thing when I heard it. Because I do feel that Cunha is probably the one area where I'm not 100% happy here at the moment. But that leads me to the question. Listen, there's not much point in reviewing much more on this. We've only had those games. I've just had the 3 players gone. But I will lead into the question that I want to ask you guys. Opinion as we look at the next game week. So clearly, one of the nice things with this team and the light bench and having all the money pumped into the team is I do not have any benching dilemmas. The team is the team. There will be no points dodging. There's no, unless I transfer out freaking someone unnecessarily. Oh, Rice, that's going to bug me. It is a little bit. It could have been like I'm inside the top 1 million, a nice 150k rank rise, but it could have been 600,000. I could have been heading towards me target. I've been inside the top 500k in the next few game weeks in just 1 game week. The way it was going, it still could happen. Bruno G could. Let's see. Sorry, back to the point, guys. Yeah, I'm a little rough this morning, by the way. It was quite a big night. Cunha. Now, when I did the wildcard video and the team selection video, etc., there were some great suggestions coming, and I actually acted on 1 or 2 of them. I'm going to talk specifically to 2 of them, which I think may be relative, may be relevant to some of the things you guys might be thinking about doing. But this first one, though, actually is probably more for me, and it comes back to, is the Rice essential question. This team, I think, looks really, really good going out for this game week. Really does. I think this team looks in really, really good shape. Cunha. Should I just transfer him out and bring Rice back in? That is the question I'm going to be asking myself. The team, the team on the whole looks good. John, West Ham, great fixtures for the defence, apart from Gabriel, but that's Liverpool, that defence can absolutely be got at, so you could easily see him getting something from a set piece. It's not the end of the world if Arsenal do concede. But of course with Gabriel you've got those other routes to points as well with the DEFCON, and obviously goals and assists. Other than that, Chow Lee's home, Guardiola, Brighton home, Tarkowski, Wolves at home. All of them, have a little bit of goal threat, but they're all good clean sheet opportunities. You don't count your clean sheets before they happen. We've seen that in recent weeks, haven't we, with some of the silly silly clean sheets that have been given away. But defence fine, goalkeeper fine, midfield. Do I compound an error? I don't know what you call it, an error. It's, I did what I did because I didn't feel I had the squad depth to cope with Rice not playing in case there was another one. I didn't want to end up playing with 10 men, so I thought, yeah, I'll move him out and I'll bring him back. But of course, then he ended up playing. It's one of those things. But it goes back to is Rice essential? It is Liverpool at home, because the plan was to bring him back 22, maybe even 23. But should I just actually, United, who are not looking great, especially with the DEFCON boys been away, unless Cunha performs some sort of miracle tonight, but if United look really shit in the game this evening, do I just move Cunha and bring Rice back? That's the question, because I do think Rice is essential. but is he essential for this game? And would it be just better to roll, get to the next deadline, and consider rolling again, given we're going to have a lot of matches, FA Cup matches. There's a lot of football on between 22 and 23. I guess that's going to really unfold those questions. Is, if this team comes through with a clean bill of health, because so much could happen obviously between now and the end of these fixtures. It's so early in the game. We come in. I'm on a healthy green of 20 at the moment, but the rest of these players, 7 players, could go out. 8 players, I mean, 8 players I've got 8 to go. Yeah, and they could all go out and get 1 point each. I have had something like that happen in the past. Where I was like on 30, 40 points with like 7 or 8 players to go, and they brought in nada, nothing. So it can happen. So it's too early to call this game week yet by a long shot. But that will be the question. Do I just get Rice back in? Is Rice essential? I think he is, but is he essential for this game week 22? Palmer, grand sounding sort of from Chelsea fans that his minutes are going to increase. This is probably around this game week now, and the following one is where the clamour for Palmer will start, as people try to buy him. So I've already got him, so I'm happy to have him there, and hopefully, as I say, his fitness is getting better and he's playing closer to that 80 or 90 minutes, and we see some of those 2, 3, 4 goal hauls. We never know, or 2, 3, 4 return hauls at least. Never know. But he's been reasonably consistent for me, if unspectacular. In the 3 or 4 game weeks I've had him, I think he's returning 3 or 4, something like that. But just 4 or 5 and a 7 or something like that. It's fine. And it's been on limited minutes, so we'll see where he goes. Foden. Okay, so again, one of the it was interesting to say some of the feedback. So someone did suggest that when it comes to Bruno time, that rather than moving someone out of defence, just bring Foden down to Cherky, and then then that would be I could just bring Bruno G straight up to money would be there comfortably, I think, to bring Bruno G up to Bruno Fernandes. So that was a very good suggestion, and I suspect one that I might act on. Minor concerns there, though, are a little bit with Semenyo coming in, whose minutes are now going to start to be at risk. It's another chef in that bloody hodgepodge of a kitchen, and it's like, I'd almost be a little bit worried about, Foden as well. We've got Rodri's coming back now. Doku's back from injury. You've got Semenyo coming in. What's he going to cook up in that midfield, and who's going to be at risk? Foden's minutes have been very, very safe lately. I think Cherky's minutes have felt very, very safe lately. It's definitely one to keep an eye on. But if it does look as though Cherky's looking still pretty solid, I think in a few game weeks' time. It doesn't all have to be done at once on even my sort of future transfer thoughts, because as I say, so many things can happen. Yeah, I think that Foden down to Cherky and Bruno G, when he's got these nice 2 or 3 lovely fixtures out of the way, up to Bruno Fernandes, that works very, very well for me, because I don't really want to mess around with that defence too much. It's got a really, really, really good fixture run coming up, and there's points in there, and then Haaland up front, of course, captain's armband, Brighton home. So yeah, I like the look of that team for 21. The big question is, once this game week is done, do I just bring Rice back in for Cunha? And I think that's going to largely depend on how Man United perform, and do I see some hope out of Cunha, and also no other injuries in the team that have to be addressed. Now on that, as I was listening to some of the other content providers this morning, I have been, as you know, I've been talking about the 4-5-1 since about game week 9. I've just, for one reason or other, never got there. Finally have got there, and now of course what is happening, I'm hearing a lot of other content providers now started to talk about it this week. Really, there's a noise growing now. There is a real noise growing now on this 4-5-1. So whether it becomes a new template, it is certainly going to be a lot more players going in that direction. There really is. There's no question about it. So I do think, hopefully, getting ahead of what could well be the next template. So I'm really happy I have gone down this path. The area that I'm probably does worry me is my very, very light bench, because I have poured everything into the team. So it was Heather said to me yesterday, one of the subscribers, said, "Oh, why don't you put Main in for Barnes or Obi?" And I had a look and I said, "Oh, yeah, it's a couple, 0.2 more, 0.2, 0.3. I think I just want the money in the bank. I just for when I need to get to Bruno and a couple of other things. And I just rather have the 11 players I want out on the pitch rather than someone that might come off the bench and give me a one-pointer." And as soon as I'd written it, then I added, he's going to get 2 or 3 goals now, isn't he? And of course he got the goal and assist this morning. So that's point one, Main. The other one, Krupi Jr. Not sure what his price is now, but I think it's about 4.6, 4.7. What a cracker of a goal he got this morning. Semenyo going. Does that mean Krupi Jr. is going to be a regular starter or have much more solid minutes? Because that lad does know his way to goal, I'll tell you. That was a cracker of a goal this morning. He scored a few good ones this year. So this is all by way of saying, if you are looking at this 4-5-1 and you don't like my, because I'm not sure I like it either, my high risk methodology of just having one reasonable sub to come in case of any rotations or injuries, and you trim a little bit of money out, because my squad there is 11 on the pitch, is relatively expensive. You trim something out there and have a Barnes and an Obi on the bench if you do want some cheap cover that's got minutes and the potential to get that goal or so, and maybe for a potential future bench boost. And that's where I'd be looking at it. That's where it sort of grabs my attention. If things stay reasonably stable, and how often do things really stay stable in FPL? But certainly for a bench boost further down the line, well worth a look. Well worth a look, I think. So that's just a little thought, because I know a few of you are looking at the 4-5-1, and if you are thinking of moving into that over the coming game weeks, or you're wild carding into it, or whatever you're doing, yeah, have a little play with Main and Krupi Jr. on the bench, because I think their minutes are going to be really good, and they're both bagged this morning. That's it, guys. I am a little croaky. We did have a fantastic night last night, even if I didn't get to listen to the deadline streams, and it cost me 15 or 16 points, maybe more, and potentially a place in the top 500k. But this is FPL. This is the game we play. It is meant to test us, and if all else fails and you're having a bad game week, just go and look at the first 10 minutes of FPL Ryan this morning. Take care, have fun, play your own game, don't panic. I'll be back with the full game wash up in about 24 hours, I guess. See you soon. Bye bye.